Karen. We have the manifest going around, so that's for the signing. We need a motion to approve the public and non-public minutes of August 14th, and motion to accept the public minutes of August 27th. Yeah, we can, and then if there's any discussion, we can. The motion to approve that with the minutes. So yeah, does that work? That works. Thank you. Is there any discussion on those? No? So all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any approved? I mean, no, we just did that part. Any? Yeah, everybody aye. Okay. I'm having a day. I'm sorry. It's not. Oh, okay. I'm hoping I have my stuff together right now. Comment. We have any here? We have any online? No, we don't. Nope. Okay. Board member items. Michael's not here.
I checked in with Mike both in class and on his way out of school today. He's coming, so.
Okay, maybe we'll talk later. You guys will fit him in.
Yes.
So that brings us to superintendent's report.
Great, thank you very much. It's been busy. We opened school since the last time we all were together. We had a wonderful opening. We had, I thought, a great district day with teachers and staff members at the town hall. Naturally, April spoke. She did a really nice job. I loved this year as opposed to last year. I think it was your first time last year. So,
I couldn't breathe when I was up there last year.
Right? And this year it was really, I thought your remarks were super because they came right back around to what you had opened with. I thought it was really, really well done. And our kids knocked it out of the park again. So we debrief in our first senior leadership team on how we improve consultation next year. And then you'll see also in the report, I highlight the Hinsdale game. Thanks to Laura Rock and her friend Pinterest for helping us identify the events we were going to use, which was great. Hi, Mike. I've forgotten the name of the team, Anna. Do you recall the name of the team that won? It was Trinity
of Trust.
Trinity of Trust. Yes. And they racked up a lot of points. So it was very competitive. And we had a great time. And then in the afternoon, we did some work on using futures protocol of what does a thriving preschool through 12, grade 12 school look like. Thought of what it look like. So we did some basic with our staff. So there's a bunch of data summarized. And a Bravely grant is really kicking the high gear. Next Wednesday, we will have folks from Next Generation Learning here. Surprise April, we've asked you to be here for a community forum in the morning. And we'll have that with some of our students from our leadership seminar as well. So, we're excited to have the students and stakeholders be a part of this too. And they're going to be going in and out of classrooms throughout the day. Getting that off, we have an update meeting tomorrow at 11, so just make sure the whole team is. This next item is school security task forces for the Southwest region. This is not necessarily in response to the recent events, but it is really in response to the last southwest corner of the answer. Know that our friends in neighboring districts feel the same. Kind of on our own. And so we're gonna bulk up. And so I'm going to continue to work with the police chiefs from local districts bring us together around a table 2 or 3 times a year, plan a program. That something happens. What is everybody else's goal? Get the chief of police department and the tactical team for creating tactical team that can train in all the school districts. So there's a level of familiarity. Something happens in the chapter for that know what. If they're going up to help, then when they have to evacuate students, staff will where are they going? Where is the reunification center that's far enough away where parents can feel comfortable? Yeah. Who can staff that? Fire, therefore, with the Hinsdale, great, now we train. Exactly one. Nobody has been. So that's something that the Winchester board is eager to see happen. Certainly, like to see that happen. We have the school campus security team that we have asked to form. Mr. Lawrence has asked Mr. Lawrence to take charge of that and lead that, and we are meeting soon. It's October 2nd. First or second? First, I think. And so this was more of Southwest. Good question.
Oh.
Our audio is I know.
Turn it on. Is yours on? Turn it on.
We were done at the beginning, so we did something.
You say it like,
Sorry there, Alex. We'll see if we can figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
I'll wait.
No, it was definitely a technical issue when we were at the beginning. He did
That's my
something.
phone, yeah, it's trying to pull from the camera.
Yeah, you do
So every time.
We have a TV timeout.
Alex, can you give us something in the chat? Let us know if that's better, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
Love our technology.
Justin has
Thanks, Justin.
to attend every
Justin,
meeting.
thanks for not being sick anymore,
Yes.
Justin.
Oh,
And so anytime that we would have these meetings, these Southwest Regional Security meetings, they would be done in non-public because they obviously, we don't want the bad guys knowing it.
mhm.
So, also give you an update on general SAS scores, our school accountability assessments. You'll see that we're up, it's ticking upwards. It's never gonna go as fast as everybody wants it to. It's going in the right direction. However, when we drill down and we look at our scores, thank you, April, for taking a look at those.
Mhm.
And we have not had a chance to dig in. I have some concern with where we are, and it gives us great opportunity to go in the right direction. So there's some work for us to do, and I know that we're gonna do it. And that's grade 3 through 8 and grade 11. And so for the assessments, but it's pre-K to 12 for us to do all of that work. I'd like to, as we did last year, unpack our scores for you in either the October or the November meeting,
Mhm.
and work with both principals to be able to do that and talk through those data.
Mhm.
I wanted to just bring you up to speed on where we are as a state, because it was a brighter piece of news that we're moving back in the direction of pre-pandemic.
Mhm.
So we'll see where that takes us. But I'd like to be able to come back in October or November with our individual school data.
Mhm.
Okay. As far as the Winchester High School Selection Committee, we had a meeting Monday night. Those are our public meetings, so everything we discussed there is public or for public consumption. I've included the letter that we're sending to the schools we're interested in, the schools that Winchester is interested in tuitioning students to. I did receive a letter from the Winchester superintendent similar to this, so we will know more as we go forward. It looks as though Winchester will need to have an article on their warrant for March 2025. That will permit the budgeting process to take place in 25-26 for 26-27 first enrollment. So the sending and the receiving schools would then have to do that budget work. And so that's why it has to be on the 2025 warrant. So the selection committee is working backwards from there to now make sure that people in town are having a say in providing input feedback on where they think their kids should go to school. Okay. And again, the 5 schools are Hinsdale, Monadnock, remaining in Keene, Franklin County Tech, and Pioneer Valley. So I'll continue to update the board on those, on that progress. And ultimately, we're going to have a Winchester High School fair, where all 5 of those schools will actually go for an evening where the community can come in and kind of grill Miss Roth and students from Hinsdale Middle High School, talk about why they should come here. So, and then the strategic planning update. You were all in your orientation meeting last night.
Yeah.
Thank you for being there. I hope you're excited about the process. We are, and we're looking forward to moving forward with
Yeah, very excited.
that. Would conclude our report.
Any questions for Dr. Ryan? No? All right. Thank you, Dr. Ryan.
Thank you.
We'll go back to student board member items. Michael, did you have anything?
I did not expect to have a meeting.
Right.
New year.
Thank you, by the way, for
Yeah.
coming.
Some of the ideas are kind of scattered a little bit, but I have heard talk about students and teachers wanting back half-day Fridays, if not like the 4-day weeks that other schools are doing. Also about the lunch policy thing, I've heard like a rumor that there was gonna be a change happening, but I wasn't quite sure. And then there were concerns about the new pickup policy with like from older siblings or even like family picking up kids in the elementary school. There was like 2 other ideas that I just kind of popped in my head about how like social media may be affecting student behavior, or even parents or guardians affecting student behavior. It could be both of those. And I feel like when a student is behaving wrongly or there's something going on, I feel like we should be checking into that a little more.
Like have a process for following up with them and finding out what might be going wrong.
Yeah. That's kind of all.
Thank you. Any questions from Michael? What was the lunch thing again? Sorry.
Last year.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, like
The changing up of the who does what lunch, right?
because like each of the lunches were really crowded. Like one was really small, the next kind of small, and the other extremely crowded. So.
Okay. And you're finding that again this year? Okay. Anybody else? Questions? No, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us out too. I appreciate that. All right. And where is superintendent's report we did? Sorry.
It's okay.
New board business. School board retreat and goal setting.
Actually, we have several other reports unless you don't want to.
Oh, were there not? Were they not on my? Oh, I did.
Yes.
Never mind.
That's okay.
I told you it's
They'd
not
be-
my day today,
they
and
would
I'm
be
gonna
happy to
apologize
skip
ahead of
over that.
time for
Yeah.
very.
I know, I'm that guy
Yes.
that says, wait, you didn't give us homework yet.
Superintendent, okay.
Sorry, Wayne.
Business administrators report. Jane.
Madam Chair, members of the board, you have my report. Just a couple highlights within it. Thank you all so much for coming in and getting the MS 25 and DOE 25 signed. Good news on that is, except for some new worksheet that they did that I hate. The MS 25 and the DOE 25 worked a-okay. I don't have to make any changes to those. Just added a brand new worksheet that I don't understand. So the numbers that you saw are, as far as now, what's going forward. I had to resubmit to make changes to that worksheet, but hopefully if that's everything they had, those will be finalized, and I will be sending those out to the budget committee and probably having them posted online.
Just send it out to the board too, right? 'Cause we don't
Oh,
have
yeah,
a full
yeah.
copy yet.
Well, you got them. I haven't.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have them everywhere so people can see it, because obviously that is what's going to be moved forward when the state calls me to set the tax rate. But we had $695,448 of excess fund balance that can be used to offset taxes. As I discussed individually with some of you and then also sent in an email. If you refer to last year's board report and last year's audit report, and I did include that. When we were doing the 2023 audit, there was a finding that they had with the 2022 audit that required a restatement. That restatement, because of the timing of getting everything in March, we were already off and signed off and done. So that has to be restated for this current year, and that's added $221,198 that will go back to the taxpayers. That's a good restatement.
So is that our total is the 951 with the restate, with the?
No, the
695
one that
with
you're
the
looking at,
restatement.
that's last year's. So what I had to do this year is say, okay, I now have to add to what we had last year. So I had to add 221,000, which is, we did not send back to the taxpayers because we didn't know we needed to restate. So in adding it this year, it will offset this year's taxes. So what it has done is the 695,448 would have only been 470 and change.
Okay,
But
because
it's added to
on one
that.
of the sheets, it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah, what the auditors have done is they restated it for the 2023 year to show you the
Okay,
effect that it had.
that's,
So
I
what
was
that
looking
did-
through this and
No, that's,
I have, I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Well, I kind of get that way
I
too.
was like, "Whew, okay, all
And
right.
that 695,448 includes the two $50,000 articles where we put the money aside.
No, that is
No.
net of those. So we have the 50,000 for the two articles and the 50,000 for the article in which we can withhold.
Right.
So that has
But
been pulled out, the
That's been,
100,000.
100,000 has been pulled out, and then the 67,818 was outstanding bills that you were still trying to,
Yes,
okay,
just got one today.
all right.
Yes, so, and what I will do during the budget process and prior to that anyway, for the board, because as if you remember last year in the budget book that I did, I presented the breakdown of what was left over in the lines.
Mhm.
But I can tell you, the three major things that actually equate to more than what was left are 3 unfilled positions that we had. So right there, that's a bit of it. Now it's reduced a little because other things went over budget. So I will have a whole rundown as I did last year for that to give everybody an idea of what that was. But we did have, as part of that, 151,000 of excess revenue. So it wasn't on the expenditure side, it was, we received more money in than we had expected. Okay.
It's always nice. And then can you explain the IRS payment,
Yes.
please?
So in the early winter, I got a bill from the IRS for a 2021 ACA Affordable Care Act penalty. I'm looking at it going, we have compliant health plans. Why do we have this penalty? And I had noted something when I was going through prior year things going, why don't we pay a $10,000 penalty? That makes no sense to me. So when I called the IRS about this particular amount, I said, I don't understand why we're being billed for this. We have a compliant health plan and it was for 2021. So
Mm.
it wasn't here, but I'm gonna still fight it because it's just me. And so when I asked them and I said, look, we have to do this, we paid 2019, we did the same thing. Why? We have compliant plans and the employees that you're listing here, I have documentation. So she said, here's what you need to do. So I sent appeals in for both years. So I've won the first appeal. We're getting back 10,225 plus still the interest. And then the second appeal is still waiting. That's 13,000, I think. So I have not paid that. So we wouldn't get anything back. We're just gonna avoid paying it.
Nice.
But in usual fashion, they did send back a letter and say, wow, we've applied it to an amount that you owe us, which we don't owe. It's the one they screwed up. That is another thing that I have in one appeal.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start charging you the CPA rate pretty soon.
I'm not paying that.
No.
Good idea.
I used to do a lot of tax workouts in my former life,
Ah.
so, you know, I stick right with these.
Nice.
Hate to say it, but I enjoy it.
Well, thank you.
So,
Thank you. for
but
that.
yes, so that's money that'll be coming back.
Perfect.
You want to introduce Nate? And
I will do that, yes.
I have one,
Oh,
Before we move
Alex,
on.
so with the delay with TD, does that mean people aren't being paid?
oh, no, everybody's being paid.
Okay.
What's happening with that, is with what we're doing is when the district releases funds, you release your funds and people take their checks, they come in, they present them for payment. What this will allow us to do is this uploads to them a file that says checks, you know, XYZ will be presented for payment. Now, if something comes in that's hitting that's not, that's gonna tell them, whoa, something's going on, this is not a valid check number. So we're trying to get through this, and there's something to do with the check stock or the checks that we have that is in our system that's not allowing it. So we're actually right at the top of the chain, and they're working with us, and they said, you know what, if we don't get this resolved soon, we're just gonna buy all new checks.
Okay.
Perfect.
Which is.
I just wanted to make sure the delay wasn't anyone
Right.
being paid.
No, and the only
So it's
reason
just
we
the
brought
We would have heard
this-
about it.
The
Yeah.
checks
True.
are expensive because they have to go with our system and everything, and just, we have boxes.
Yeah,
right.
So, yeah, just, I don't wanna pay it.
right, yeah.
So, but anyway, that's what this does. It basically gives them, it's kind of like a pre-note. It's saying, hey, we're gonna have the following payments hit,
Mhm.
so that they know if something hits it shouldn't.
Right.
So that's basically what it's doing.
Extra layer of security for
Yes, it
the
is.
account.
And again, when the dust settles, wanna look into what happened in Keene, because I wanna make sure either we have something in place that stops that, or if we don't, I wanna make sure we do have it, so.
Mm.
That was one of my questions too, like, what is the key? Didn't hear
Well,
about
yeah, I
that.
didn't either.
I was like, what is the key issue? It's a
They
lot of money.
had over 2.1 million diverted in ACH filings, and they got 1.5 million of it back because of whatever they had in place. I want to know what they had in place.
Well, but also that.
The
that's still half a
600,000,
million dollars?
yeah, it's still out there, and will obviously, you know, it's like Conval all over it, or not Conval, Peterborough, town of Peterborough. Just happened to be a Conval check. that
I was gonna say, I
included.
thought that was.
But it was, yeah, it was in town of Peterborough. So it's similar, but a little bit different, because one's checked, one's ACH. I want to know what they had in place.
Right.
So I want to make sure we got
Okay.
it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I want to learn as much as I can about that.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
perfect. Any questions for Jane before we move on?
That was my list.
Nope, we're all good. Thank you, Jane.
the last board meeting, I had asked if you would like to meet our new facilities director, and Nate is here with us. So Nathan Boutron, this is the board.
Hi, Nate.
This is
Hi,
Nate.
Nate.
Hello.
And he's gonna be here a lot with you, so, I think we'll be having him do a board report for you, like we all have to.
I was gonna say it might be helpful to
I think
have
it
a
would.
board report from
Yeah.
facilities to know what's going on there.
I'm used to.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know Nate's joined the finance facilities priority team of the
yay.
strategic planning
Good,
process.
good.
Nice.
Yay.
I have my person.
Perfect. Is there any information you have for us currently going on
Not
or
right now,
anything?
no.
Good. Well, thank you, and it's a pleasure to have you in the Hinsdale community.
It's great to be here. So I really enjoyed, I've only been here a couple of months, but so far I've really enjoyed getting in here and getting to know everybody and starting getting to work on some stuff.
Great, thanks. I'm excited. Any questions for me?
Do you know anything about electricity?
I might a little bit, yeah.
We're super pleased with how the buildings were prepared. They were super clean, bright,
Yes,
shiny,
yes,
grounds
yes,
were in
yes.
great shape.
Grounds are awesome.
Yeah.
Grounds.
Yeah, we're
Grounds
really
are
happy.
awesome.
That new mower.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the operator
So
on
we
there
did-
too. I
Yeah.
won't say his name, but it's a good thing it's a new mower. Let's just say that. He knows who he is.
I just want to say, I want to take a spin on it, just.
Yeah.
They are
Hand the check
fun.
over. I want to take a spin.
Warm and warm, I don't know how much fun it is.
Right.
We take candy for a little bit.
All right, thank you, Jane, thank you. The principals reports. Anne?
Hello, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. I have my report. I'll just share a couple of highlights. The beginning of school has been fantastic. Kids are happy, teachers are happy. And so that is just filtering into the feel of the building. And I've really been enjoying my first couple of weeks. Trying to learn lots of names and just having fun, which is important. And then I just want to highlight, we are at the beginning stages of leading up to our NEASC reaccreditation process. So in a couple weeks, we'll have our liaison visiting a faculty meeting to kind of give an overview to the staff of what the next couple of years will look like. And then probably mid-year, we'll start what's called the self-reflection process. And that's really a writing process. So Chris and one teacher will be co-chairing the steering committee for that. And we'll hope to have that done for the end of the year, most of it, and then have to have it submitted in the fall of next year, because October 1 of next year, we have what's called a collaborative conference where a few people come and visit. And then in 2027 is when we will have our decennial accreditation visit. So then we'll have a larger team coming to visit and determining whether we get to keep our NEASC accreditation. So something we'll have to plan for, not just in terms of time and the work that we have to do, but also financially. There's some costs associated with it. So I've already gave Jane and Dr. Ryan a heads up of what we're looking at, and so I just wanted to make sure you all were aware of that. So I will entertain any questions.
Thank you. I got your Friday email out that you sent out to parents. That was helpful. I got a lot of community connection stuff off it, which was nice.
Yes.
Which I'll be posting more later, but I'm not sure I got yours.
I think now I have it.
Do you have it?
Our bright arrow, right? Now it's on the list.
Yes,
So
we
this
have
week
to
you
check.
should have it this Friday, so.
Great. I'm guessing I'm gonna get a lot of community connection stuff off of this.
Yeah.
Which will be great. Any questions for Anna?
No, I've heard great things, so.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
So I'm excited.
Thank you.
And we have Dr. Bremner.
A lot of the same. We're energized and happy. Life is going well over there. We in our learning on our building day, one of the activities we did quickly was to just take inventory of all of the years of experience over there. And so 896 years of experience in that building. So so that was pretty cool to figure out and celebrate those who had more numbers, and celebrate folks who've just entered the education field as paras or even new teachers. So it was really, really nice to have that. And I've never had an open house before school. That's like a new thing for me. And it was great. It was awesome. So we started the year with 240 learners in our building, and now we're 242. And of those 240, we had 155 who had families that came. So that was awesome. So the line just kept going. I was holding the door the whole time, and I was like, I'm going to have one side much bigger than the other. So that was fun. We did have a couple folks who came later on, but I stayed late in case that happened. So it was great to have that many. The rolling arrival has been great. That from the get-go, day one was like, even people in it were like, oh, this is so much safer. They were not having to worry about kids. The afternoon was not great that first day. And I owned it. But now it's fine. We're smooth. We're getting almost 250 kids out in all the ways they need to. Although I did tell Marianne, I was like, I will staff HASP on the first day. We can have HASP on the first day. She just did, is not in my report, she did some data that 74% of our students last year accessed HASP at some part of it.
It's an
So it
incredible
real
program.
impacts our dismissal.
Yeah.
But everything's smooth now, so we're getting everybody out in 15 minutes and I know where they're all going.
Mhm.
And have a record of it. And so if there's any questions, so it took a couple days, but we got there. NHDI is coming back. That's a new thing for me. They've come before. This is the Dance Institute. So they start next week, a 2-week residency, and then branding actually in your stage for our performance. So that'll be the afternoon of the 27th. So I'll make sure you guys know about it if you want to come. Still hiring some folks, but we've had a good amount of subs, so which has been great. So we've been really using our sub list for our unfilled positions, and we will keep interviewing anyone who's qualified who applies. Any questions?
No.
So with that, 5th grade, 5th grade class that we talked about in the last meeting, are we filling that with a sub or are we 2 classes?
So we stuck with 2 classes because it was like a hot minute before school started. Yeah.
No, I was just wondering when you were saying subs, I was
Yeah,
like,
I had the
are
same
we
question.
running the
So
classes?
this is how we did it was, so we have the classroom ready for, if we hire somebody, I know where it's going, we've got it all set up. No, Ms. Bowker, Ms. Foster are 2 5th grade teachers. But one of our subs is our general education para sub, and they've been allocated to 5th grade, which normally we try to have at the lower grades, but we need that extra set of hands with all those guys there. So they're able to like scoot out a small group and those kind of things. So we're making it work with a para sub, but within their 2 regular classrooms. Yep.
And what are the numbers in 5th grade again?
We're at 45.
Want to put an asterisk next to the hiring where there
44,
are some local districts in the southwest region that are looking to hire up to 8 to 10 classroom teachers still in their schools. Yeah. We're blessed to be where we are, one at the middle high school, 2
With the special ed
one of the
position.
special ed case made, plus the 5th grade at the elementary school. So we're really fortunate to be staffed the way we are and to have the quality of the staff that we were able to hire. So it's never a good thing to say, it's great that we're almost staffed, but we're in a much better position than we are than a lot of other school districts. So we're grateful for that.
And with sub and creativity and, myself sometimes and other people other times, we're okay with making it work.
I'd also like to point out that the New Hampshire DI, that's being funded through the whole fund.
Right, yeah.
Which we're really grateful for. And we have thank yous that are out. And so we're blessed to have that available to us in town as well.
Definitely. So I just wanted to, so since we're also missing a special education teacher, what are we doing to supplement that? Is it just higher caseloads for the ones who are there? Or?
Yes, I mean, ultimately, so I worked with Lisa Kunzler, the special ed coordinator. She worked with the 3 case managers that we have and divvied up the case loads. And then they have created service groups and taking care to look at how IEPs are written so that, if it says special ed teacher / staff or / para, that maybe for now it is the para doing that with the guidance of the special ed teacher, if that's how it's written. So there's finesse there, and I think she's in the process of a few, letting folks know if there's anything that isn't lining up, but nothing major, massive, but everybody's like all hands on deck right now. So.
Anything else from anybody?
And 242 is enrolled, is that pre-K through 5th?
Pre-K through 5th, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The other thing is, I am the fire prevention person, but I was asked how many kids we had in there, and October's fire prevention month.
Yeah, I emailed Terry that
Did you?
this past week, yeah.
email me.
Oh, okay.
Cause it just gets forwarded,
Okay.
you didn't know that, but it just ends up getting forwarded to me, and if he doesn't check his email,
Okay.
so we'll just get something set up. I
You're
don't.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
You really are wearing a lot of hats right
Yeah,
now.
2 or 3 days ago, I
Okay.
checked in with him, I
Perfect.
emailed him, I don't think I heard back yet.
Yeah, he probably hasn't got it yet.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Hard
I'll
to
just
get.
connect with you this week probably,
Perfect.
and, we'll get something set up, and
Okay.
hopefully we'll be able to get it knocked out without a fire call this year.
Mm.
Sounds good.
It does make it exciting.
Right, yeah. I just wanted to say thanks for keeping the jokes in your morning routine. I'm sure the kids appreciate it.
Outside my comfort zone, but I have had it.
Okay, Karen, I'm coming back to you. I didn't forget. I skipped you originally.
That's why I
So,
was
yes,
like,
I know, I'm
can't
sorry.
find
I
these.
told you, I am off my game today.
Okay, well, at least I feel better now.
Yes. So we'll go to Karen and
Thank you,
then,
Madam Chair. You have a report. One thing that I didn't put in there, is that our ESSER 3 grant is done on September 30th. If you all want to jump for joy.
I was
it's
gonna
okay,
say, that's
because
like a mixed
I-
bag.
It
but
is.
It's
I know.
also like, okay.
it was nice to have the funds, but it's screwing everything else up.
Yeah.
So we
It's a lot.
rewrote we did the final rewrite, the other day. We probably have to do some fixing tomorrow. So, we have one day to fix it,
Okay.
so we got it just now.
Good luck.
Just now, we first got it, we just read it, so, I don't know what that's gonna mean, if we can turn it around fast enough. Our goal is to not give a penny of it back. But I'm assuming that we're probably not the only school in the country that's writing stuff at the very end to use up their funds and are not getting approved. So, does anyone not approved? It just means they're asking some questions that we have to now go back and finesse how we write it a little bit more. So, but once that's in after tomorrow, then we're either accepted or not, and then it's done.
Right.
September 30th, so.
Yeah.
One more day.
Yes, good luck.
And I will say the opening day, welcoming new teachers, and it was just it felt really good. Teachers were engaged. I didn't hear last year we heard all kinds of complaints about the heat. It was pretty hot in that multipurpose room at the end of the day, but you know what? We heard less complaints. Teachers were engaged and moving a lot and doing a lot of fun things. And so yeah, it was a really nice opening to the school year, and things have felt just extremely calm, extremely calm, and joy. Like the word that I use right now is joy across the district. So it's
Nice.
just really nice.
That is nice.
Yay, that's good to hear.
So I just had a question on the construction trades day. Do you already have the 15 students
We
that
don't,
you're
and-
taking, or do you
No,
have
we
to
don't.
process?
So
for
we're
that?
tapping some kids, but we're also gonna put it out there. Unfortunately, somehow or another, we only got 15 slots. So you have to sign up for this in the spring,
Ah.
which I did, and they told me that I signed up for 15. I tend to differ with that, because last year I filled a bus, so I'm like, I
Right.
don't know where you got this 15 number. I think I said 50, and they said,
Oh,
but anyways,
yeah.
it's just only, so I begged and pleaded if we could change the number, and they said no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we have 15 kids, so the guidance department is working on, we're prioritizing all the kids that didn't get into construction for Cheshire career that weren't available. Those are first pick. Kids going into the trades and ELOs will be second, and then kids who are just interested will be our third round. So we'll get 50
Yeah.
easily.
I'm sure.
And then we'll take a bigger group to the big event, the Trade-A-Palooza in November. We can take many more kids to that.
Karen, is a construction day the one we attended last year?
Cool. Any other questions for Karen? No? All right, Justin, IT.
Madam Chair, you have my report. One thing I want to update you is I mentioned the tech integration idea that I wanted to release before this meeting. I was out Monday and Tuesday this week, did not get to it. Today was catch-up day, did not get to it today. I hope to have it out by Friday. To give a brief idea of what it is, Microsoft in the spring, and then rolled out there in the summer, released a tool called Microsoft Designer. It's an AI generative tool for images. It's all they're supposed to have safety measures in place to make sure there's nothing harmful or dangerous that can be generated. Kids basically chat, they say, like bike ride the summer of friends, and it generates cool little cartoonish graphics based on that. So it's just a tip on how to prompt the AI for that. Take the images that it generates and pull into PowerPoint, maybe make a slide about their summer vacation. So it's, illustrate kind of what they did with AI. I could see this being used in both ways, not only telling a story through the images, but maybe also using the images to then do some creative writing. So I'm gonna pop it out there digitally, see if anyone wants to bite on maybe a session I can offer, completely voluntary, for teachers, or I don't know if we can open up for students too, after school one day, and we'll see where that goes.
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I wrote down, because I don't know if you thought about it before or not, providing an adult like learning class for parents or whatnot. So like, I know some parents are frustrated with the computers their kids are bringing home and not knowing how to use them and help them out with it and kind of stuff like that. So maybe a parent night for technical stuff like that. I don't know. It was just a thought I had. So I was going to throw it out there. I know that's extra time on your schedule, which you are already busy with. So, or anybody else in your department that might be able to do that.
Yeah, it's I'm sure we're seeing it from the same source.
Yeah.
The idea of it. So
yeah,
given that I don't know of a timeline of when I could offer
Yeah.
that. Maybe when it gets quieter here in the October, November, it really calms down, and probably we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Right out to the public.
Any other questions for Justin?
Just want to say, I think you handled that beautifully.
Yes.
The issues with technology, so
Yeah.
Thank you.
just to throw that out there.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. My last report, right? I'm not missing another one.
You're doing awesome.
Thanks.
Got you
Okay,
covered.
thanks.
You're on a
All
roll.
right, so now we're on to new school business, new board business rather. Let me scroll down. We have our retreat and goal setting. It's set up for, I can't think of the date off. the top of my head. Monday, thank you.
Monday.
We're all set at A1 in Hinsdale for that, so
At 5.
at 5 o'clock, yep. Elena is graciously gonna feed us while we're there, which is very nice. Yep. And hopefully it'll be very productive. I'm very excited about it. So any questions about it?
Do we need to do anything to prep for it?
Oh, we're gonna send an email out here. And
I'll do that
Yeah.
tomorrow morning.
Okay,
Yep,
since
we
it's
review.
sooner. rather
Yes.
than later.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
agenda is, I'm not
It's
asking you
pretty
to read a book
easy,
this year.
actually,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
No
Yeah.
books.
Basically go
Because we're
through,
running out of time.
you'll be going through the 4 goals from
The
this most
current
recent year
ones.
and assessing, doing an individual assessment, and then we'll have a conversation about levels of success. And then there'll be some realigning of board priorities to address those goals that weren't met. And they'll also be developing a few new goals the board wants to see take place. And we'll be talking about my evaluation process,
Okay.
because we do have a policy that requires the board to evaluate the superintendent.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we're in compliance.
Mhm.
And it'll be a working dinner.
Yes,
That way we're not there for 4
for
hours.
forever.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot Sunday wasn't the end of that.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
know,
Sorry.
I know, it
Friday.
was- so you said Sunday, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We want you home in time for Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Want me home in time.
Right. All right, any other questions about that? Anybody? All right, student board member process. I know we thought, I had a thought of maybe doing your elections at the end of the school year, so they're ready to go for the beginning of the next year, because technically
That's what the
the term
policies-
starts July 1st.
Right.
So, yeah, that was my thought process on it.
And I think that will be our process going forward for sure. Things were a little
Hectic.
flustered in the spring.
Yeah, trying to do it at the beginning of the school year too, and the whole election and all that
Yeah.
stuff there's already a lot going on, so
Yeah.
it might be easier.
Well, I have 2 students who have expressed, I've been announcing it on my morning announcements, and I put up some posters, and I have 2 students right now who are interested. So What I told them was that at the end of the week, if I had more than one to do, that we'll have some sort of election
Mhm.
just amongst the students for them to vote.
Yeah,
And so the intention is that there will be a new student board rep in October. So this will be Michael's last meeting.
yes, yes. Thanks for everything,
you.
Michael.
Thank you,
Much work
Michael.
overtime.
It's
Hang on.
been great.
Fucking overtime. Oh, boy.
Any questions on that? The MOU between the town and the school district.
Guys, I love the clarity.
I just couldn't tell who's mowing what from the pictures, because all the grays look the same to me. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that's because it's on a screen and not printed
It's
out.
very- it's,
Yeah,
my guess.
probably.
So the people involved understand.
Yes,
that
that's what
Yeah.
I
Literally the
assumed.
road going down to the SAU road down to the dirt road over here. One side school, the other side's town
Right.
stuff. And,
The writing really was, I was like,
Yeah.
this is, I feel like it
was
was not
good.
like that before, was it?
no, there wasn't a ton of changes, but I think
Yeah.
that it just
Oh, it
simplified it
seemed-
and, and also opened up a lot of conversation. Phone numbers being exchanged, people
Okay.
know who to talk to get things done that need to get done. So
Yeah.
I think it was a very productive meeting, even though if you look at the MOU, there was not a ton of stuff that was changed, but it was more just clarified,
Mhm.
updated, and the new people met the new people, because most of them that were involved in writing the last one weren't there.
Aren't there anymore, right? Perfect. Well, thank you for all the hard work. It's great. We need a motion to accept the MOU
It
as
looks like it needs to be
written.
signed too.
Yeah, I got it here to sign.
Oh, good.
I didn't want to sign it until we approved it. so-
Yeah.
So I need a
I make
motion.
a motion to accept the MOU as written with the new addition, I guess.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on it? Any further discussion on it? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, so I'll sign, excuse me, I'll sign it so we can get it off to the town. Thanks for all the work on that. I mean, it's-
What is grubbing? I wrote it down because I want to know.
Grubbing.
Yeah, it
What?
was
I think it's,
on the
Oh, it
fields,
was- it
you
was-
can't do grubbing within a certain amount of weeks of sports starting.
Right, it's when they do the fertilization.
yeah.
Okay.
It was the,
Yeah, all those big orange signs that are on the field.
The Grubex and the bugs,
Okay.
yeah, zap them.
I just had never heard that word before, so I wanted to know.
All right, I gotta get the next packet open, sorry. Okay, I know we have the staff handbook, which we're still working on, right? That's one we're working on.
No, that's the
That's a
employee
different-
manual.
okay.
Yeah, see, that's that internal document.
Yes, the staff one.
Yeah, staff handbook, we have, it's, it should be, it's right in here.
Yeah, I know I have it.
I have to go through all my tabs.
It's a less, yeah, okay.
No, it's not.
It's a less is more document. We're really hoping to narrow out and link a lot of our work, so we're just an
Mhm.
electronic document that folks can access. Maria's done a lot of work on that. Presented to you, we've updated. Maria, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't done any drastic changes to it other than change and updated the names and positions of people in here, correct?
Yeah, that's mostly it.
That was a lot of what I saw.
We took out things that seemed redundant to put, I apologize, that was the student ones. The student ones, tried to consolidate things that seemed redundant. For the staff, that was not so, but it's mostly, linked to the policies versus spelling out all the individual policies and updating the names, so people know who does what.
And then both students and handbooks from each of the schools are linked, have links to the staff handbook for all staff. They have access, we'll have access to these components of the policies and so forth.
Yeah, perfect. Any questions on the staff handbook? Do we know, we need a motion for the staff handbook?
We don't, what I
Okay.
typically do for the staff handbook is want the board to be aware of it
Right.
and have questions about it, but it doesn't need a more action.
Okay.
I love that numbers are listed.
Yeah.
Maria did a ton of work on it, so public kudos to her for the amount of work,
Yeah.
the level of detail that goes in, because things change,
Mhm.
and I mean, things even changed between the time the draft was
Started,
originally
yeah.
submitted to tonight, and so you'll note those changes are in there, like the PD days,
Mhm.
Columbus Day, and so forth,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
thank you, Maria.
Yes, thank you, Maria.
And even like the swipe card hours, because that's always, there wasn't always clarity about that, so having it in the handbook to reference.
All right, so any more questions about that? Thank you, everybody. Policies, we have a long list of them. Was there any of them that anybody had any comments on before we need to pull out one or whatever from the group?
I didn't read anything about this. I'm a small head.
We had sent you
I
the red
didn't
line
either,
version, which
yeah.
you would ask for as well, to see the reasons why, and that we provided the Hampshire School Board
Yeah.
Association reasons.
Yeah.
And then we covered that in policy committee as well, with the principals and the Kendra, who's on the policy committee. She did a great job leading those conversations.
Does a great job leading conversations.
Like I said, Congress, look out,
Right?
that's where she is.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to make sure the board understood the why. of the
Mhm.
changes.
Yeah.
And now updated. We'll have the other half to you as soon as we can get through.
Mhm. So we just need a motion to accept these policies as a group.
Yes.
Could someone make that motion?
I make a motion to accept the policies as a group.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. All right. And then we're down to other business. I just want to look at my notes real quick, make sure I don't forget anything. I know, well, it's multiple pages just for the reports, but, all right, I don't think, is there anything else in the handbook? I gotta get past all these policies, sorry.
Yep, I had
It's like. All right, so if there's no other business, I think we're down to board committees. Behavioral support team.
We
Sandra,
have
since-
not met.
Budget committee, they're focused on the fire station right now. They may or may not have a meeting tomorrow or Friday. I haven't heard. I got a message that they might meet. It's nothing definite yet, so I have no idea. But nothing as far as budget for us yet, anyway. Community connections of getting great information. I'm loving having all the stuff to post and trying to figure out what to post. So that's good. So that's always a good problem to have.
Right.
So thank you for that. Facilities maintenance emergency, Mark.
I am not on that committee.
Oh, right. You guys switched.
We haven't met. Our first meeting is in the beginning of October, right, Jane? And then we just sent out, I got,
Just sent out a whole.
I know, I saw them all.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
just
Maria.
I got a list of them too.
Yeah, so we haven't had anything. We'll have it sometime at the beginning of October, correct?
I think it's the 27th.
Oh, the 27th.
I think, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
it's one of those.
Yeah.
No, that's good. There's so many of them. We're in 25 and everything else.
I know the first one I looked at was like June and I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, oh, no, there's more.
All right, HASP.
Our meeting was canceled.
Just move to next month, right?
Moved up.
Yeah. Legislation, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And we'll start with the easy stuff. So our delegate assembly is in October 19th in Concord. We need a representative to go up there and vote for us as a school board. Does anybody want to do it? Okay.
Do you want to do it?
I will do it.
No, well, you do a lot of the other legislators.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
want one of us to figure out how to make it work, then that's what we do.
Well, I mean, if
Kendra
people
is
can't
getting
make it work.
Great
She-
training.
That's true.
On Capitol
And
Hill
she's not
right
here
now.
to say no,
She just
so
got
I vote her.
voluntold.
I do have
She
October
will be
19th free,
so
so
good.
it's not an issue for me to
When
go.
is our school board meeting?
Before that,
Before that?
right before that, basically,
All
yeah.
right.
it's
Oh,
the-
it's the 19th, that's a
Yes,
Saturday.
It's a Saturday that it's on, the delegate assembly. I have never been to one, so I mean, it wouldn't, I don't mind going, because it would be nice to go and check it
Oh,
out.
it's a Saturday?
It's a
Yeah,
Saturday,
Which
yeah.
is a heavy activity day, so we probably shouldn't volunteer.
I'm not volunteering anybody at this moment right now. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think I'm actually.
can we have a text or something to get back and forth to each other? Do we have to actually make them?
So we just need to make a motion to have somebody represent us at the delegate assembly. And everybody approves that person or whatever. And then we actually need to go through which I sent to you a couple days ago, what are they called?
Resolution.
Thank you, resolutions, and approve what's being suggested or not approve it, because that'll be the way the person that goes up there votes
Yeah.
towards it.
Mhm.
And then you also just need to give the person that we're sending up there authority to vote on any amendments that might be made on the floor,
Mhm.
basically.
So we can come up with a person and approve it on our next meeting, and then everybody can have a conversation and figure it out.
We could, but it's kind of
last
short
minute,
notice.
Can we do that Monday? Oh, we can't vote on anything, can we, on Monday?
I mean, it's an
You-
official
no,
meeting.
you can,
could.
as long as we include other business on the agenda.
Mhm.
Okay, so maybe Monday, because Kendra will be there and we can make sure
Right,
we could still, figure out our resolution stuff, but.
yeah, we can do that
We
tonight.
can go through that tomorrow, Maria, and build that agenda for the.
Yeah, because we'll be posting that tomorrow, that agenda tomorrow. So then, I'm just gonna, because this is the last, the personnel, so we'll let everybody go before we get into the resolutions, if that's okay. We'll get through our reports and then we'll do the resolutions. And then, so there was a lot of, as far as legislation, there was a lot of laws signed by the governor. And there was like more than 50, so I did not do all of them, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of the ones I thought were important. You certainly can, everybody got the email from the New Hampshire School Board, so you can go in there and look at everyone that's gonna be affected, basically.
And there's a workshop.
And yeah.
To explain. the
To go
bills.
through it, yeah.
So I
there's
did sign
two.
up for that, and you get a video if you can't be there like while it's happening.
Yeah,
So
you
that's,
can watch
I
it
signed
later.
up so I can eventually watch and figure out what's happening.
So HB 1109 is student ID cards. They're to include the eating disorder helpline and the suicide hotline. And it does only applies to newly printed ones. So anybody getting a new school ID, not a current one. So that's insignificant, but the HB 1205 is in reference to the girls' sports and girls and boys' sports being separated unless they're co-ed, are marked or earmarked for co-ed games. And girls essentially have to prove they're girls if there's any question of it. And they would have to present their birth certificate dated near their date of birth. So it can't be a birth certificate that's been changed or later. And it's for grades 5 through 12. And if there's no certificate that they can produce, they have to prove it otherwise.
What would
Meaning,
otherwise be?
well, I would assume they'd have to go to a doctor and get a doctor to sign off on it, basically, to say that they are biologically female in order to play in women's sports, play in the girls' sports, on the girls' sports team.
April, was that very recent information? Because a lot's changed since that first came out.
Yeah, I did look it up. I went through and on the governing site or whatever,
Yeah.
typed that in, and that was the wording that was in there.
Well, I know it's being challenged.
I hope so. Yeah, I know it is
They
being
did declare an
challenged.
injunction on that, so transgender students,
Mhm.
students who identify male or female can participate
Until that is,
until it
okay.
is cleared up.
Yeah.
So there's a temporary injunction that was issued by the Supreme Court on.
That's good.
Okay.
It is.
It doesn't say that on the,
No. I
when you
know.
go to look it up, but yeah. That's good.
Yeah, some of the
Yeah.
resolutions might not, well, I guess it doesn't hurt to have it.
Right. So that was a fairly big one. The HB 1312 is parental notification of student health curriculum materials with 2 weeks notice. I know I got that already for my son, so I'm pretty sure we're all in
Mhm.
compliance with that already.
Yeah.
So that's not an issue. HB 1336 allows guns in locked cars inside employees' cars.
Oh, is it just employees?
It's businesses can't prevent employees from having guns locked in their car on their property, basically is what it states. It does also allow the employers not to be held responsible if something happens. Basically, that doesn't hold them liable, which
Liability isn't. really the
Yeah,
only
I know.
concern, though.
I know, and it's for any business that accepts federal and state funds. So, which is us.
But so federal law doesn't supersede this?
States
Federal
have
law does
control
not
over it.
prevent people from carrying firearms on school property.
Mhm.
I just assumed it did.
Well.
Yeah. It goes in direct
Okay.
contradiction to the federal safe schools.
Right,
safe
that's why I
school.
just assumed 100% that was.
Gun-free school zones is what
Right.
the federal law is, yeah, because I wrote it down. Act of 1990. So, yeah, so there's that. HB 1579 allows for the merger of school admin units. And I'm not sure, I wasn't clarified to me about whether or not they had to be because I know SAUs have multiple schools underneath them, so I didn't know if it meant for them or like us and like in our us in a different school district could merge admins if we wanted to, kind of thing. But it doesn't provide an incentive for 2 years for $200 a student at each school for each school that's doing it. So if
Paid for by the state or?
paid for by the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
It's coming, the money's,
We'll see about that.
the money's coming from the education trust fund is where it's coming from to pay for it.
Otherwise known as it's the trust fund, it's
Yeah.
not the voucher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. I couldn't find clarification whether it didn't say in the new paragraph anyway. I didn't read the whole thing, but in the new paragraph, it didn't say anything about being from the same SAU kind of thing. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
The HB 1679 Farm to Table Pilot Program incentive is for 2 years of grants to implement the program. Products are reimbursed at 33.3% for the fiscal year ending 2025 and 2026. So I don't know if we do a farm to table with our lunch program.
I was gonna say, I've seen signs like posters for it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so if it's already implemented, I don't think this applies to us, but it was, again, interesting to bring up. So SB 327 is penalties for harassment of sporting or assaulting by sporting oh my God, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. Yes, sporting officials. So it permits it permits the courts to impose a ban on individuals convicted of certain offenses against sport officials from participating in sporting events in the state for a specific amount of time and for up to 12 months or more. And the first offense is up to $1,000 fine, I think. And that goes into effect as of 1/1/25. So it's not in effect currently, but
Baseball season.
yeah.
Which is probably when we need.
SB 340 allows school districts may provide IEP information regarding a child's special education program by electronic mail was basically the big one for that. Because right now I think it's letter bound, and this allows us to communicate with the guardians and parents through email, I'm guessing. And that, they say, is effective 60 days after 10/1/24. And then the SB 379 was the requirements for placements and maintenance of AEDs, and requires an individual trained in cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Or complaints.
Yeah, and the other thing was the IEDs can't be in a locked office. They have to be accessible within 3 minutes of your sporting event.
They're hanging on the wall.
Right, yeah.
Or
But our
outside.
Yeah, I was pretty
buildings
sure
are
we
locked.
were,
Does that count?
Is what?
if the
Oh,
school was
locked
locked.
building.
Like during soccer.
Yeah,
So it'd be portable for soccer, but in the gym, it'd probably be in the trainer's office or the.
I think it's
ice
hanging
man
out in the lobby, isn't it not?
Yeah.
It should be.
Right, for
Yes.
basketball and
But
stuff
is
like
it an
that, but
issue that our buildings are
locked
locked?
during
Does
soccer.
that make it non-compliant with the lock?
If during soccer, if it's inside the building and the building is locked, then it's not accessible. So we have
Right.
to probably look at a portable AED and bring them out to both fields if there are 2 games going on at one time.
Even if there's always a member of the school staff
Oh, who can get
at the
in?
game.
It's
It's
more
gonna
than
be
3.
within 3
Yeah,
minutes.
it's
I
three.
can run
There's-
fast.
From the
Maybe the
road
first-
down,
maybe
to
the
take you 3
first
minutes to
minute
get
after
here,
the
running.
wall
would be-
flies, after the wall yourself.
Yeah.
Coming
Well, true,
back.
but then who has access to
I'm
the
actually
elementary
gonna
school
need
for
this
high school?
thing.
I need oxygen as well.
But yeah,
We'll-
so
we'll figure out.
those were
Actually, they
interesting
might-
little new things that I just thought.
Or it might just be that high school staff needs to have access to the elementary school.
Yeah,
Because
we'll
there's
figure it
one
out.
in the elementary school too.
Is that just for sporting events or is that just in general? You have to have one within 3 months.
It says within 3 minutes of an episode at a sporting event.
That's sports
So-
event.
sporting.
Okay.
Yeah, it says available
Just
and on site within 3 minutes. Basically was the wording that I wrote down from it. And then also, make sure that the maintenance part of those AEDs was part of this new policy too, to follow the manufacturer's suggested maintenance policies for
It'll
that.
let you know if it's not.
Right,
Big
yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then making sure that it's reviewed and rehearsed annually, how to use them. CPR classes are always being taken, I know, but with the AED, I don't know if that's part of that.
Yes,
So,
Yeah, it is.
okay, that's good to know.
And it's really, I mean, a kid can use them.
They really are easy.
know.
Won't you
Yeah.
let you do anything unless it
Mhm.
knows it can, so.
Right.
Walks you right through.
And that was all I had. There was one for posting grants received within 30 days, but I think it's died since it wasn't signed. And it's noted as dead and grossed. So I'm guessing it's dead.
Dead to me.
Right,
Dead
so, but I think, I mean, we have our financials online anyway, right? So. Right, that's all I had for the legislation. Again, there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Those were the ones I thought we should highlight. Any questions on any of that? All right, so we're moving on to personnel. We received a letter of intent to negotiate with the teachers, and we have our first meeting next week. Next week, right?
Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday, thank you.
Are you on that, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah. So we just keep going, man.
Yeah, we're just, so
So
now
now you're at
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we're up to Tuesday.
Is that a full board meeting?
No,
No,
Committee.
no.
it's just the committee.
And when was that committee formed?
When we. all the
Yeah,
committees, and
it's
then
been an
your
ongoing
schedule
committee
never
for years.
changed. Your schedule didn't change like it was supposed to, so you ended up not on those committees.
I don't recall that committee coming up though.
Oh, it was.
We
'Cause
did
that's
it with
how I
all the
got
other
on.
committees when we did it,
Mhm.
when we were doing them at the beginning of the year.
I don't, okay.
I bet Wayne would be willing to give it up. though, Mark.
No, that's fine.
That's all I had for personnel, and we're still working on the
Personnel.
staff handbook.
Personnel.
All right, any questions? Policy committee. Kendra's not here, but we went over a lot of those policies, so I think we're good.
We did. We have our next meeting on September 26th, and it's our hope that we'll review a large batch of policies again on that day.
Oh, I did want to mention that the student rep one had changed. That was one of the legislative ones. Basically, it takes out doesn't have to attend all board meetings, basically.
Oh, well.
Even though we'd like them to.
We sure would.
But it doesn't take it out as a requirement.
And didn't we just vote on that written incorrectly then?
What did did we vote? Was that one of the policies? They'll just have to go
I
back and
just
come
read
back
it,
with
so I'm
it.
assuming it was one of the
We
groups.
put it in the packet because of the election when we were gonna be talking about it, but I don't think it was a policy in the grouping.
Right, it was
Okay.
one
Yeah.
that I've worked on.
Yeah.
Okay. I just knew I read it.
That's good.
Portrait of a learner.
We have not, that's when we're both on, we have not met.
And select board.
Jane, 16% increase for next year's water bill,
Oh my God.
32% over the next 2 years.
What?
I haven't gotten that day yet. I am up to date right to an hour before the meeting. I called Jack White. They're having another meeting. So, but basically that number is gonna go up 16% for this budget, and then the next budget's gonna go up another 16%. So it's 32 over the next 2 years. Unfortunately, just like everything else in this town, the infrastructure is getting old. It's almost 100-year-old water system, so it's time to start doing things, and unfortunately, it's going.
16 is a huge.
But yep, 32% is what whatever that program they just did, the whole, basically identify all your
Yeah.
problems. And Jack had come up with like a 5-year plan, and I guess they came up at basically they just came up with, let's just do 16 this year, 16 next year.
Yeah, when you can find out the date.
Yep, I'm
because
gonna.
it's partway through this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was calling to find out when that was gonna go. I called and I said, we're building a budget and I need to know, because it could be 32, an increase of 32% for the budget we're actually doing
Oh, true.
because of the way it falls.
Yeah, what's fiscal year and everything.
Yeah. Then there was a bunch of conversation about the bridges. There's the gentleman who owns the Whetstone, owns the outlet center, has large dreams, and they're open to hearing them because it's that's just gonna be a bad spot. In between the old bridges, it's gonna be bad, and it's just gonna be a pipeline of not good stuff coming into town. So the conversations are being had about what's gonna be done, and some pretty cool ideas.
Oh,
But-
yay, that's exciting.
Be interested to hear them.
Oh, yeah, he's got some pretty cool ideas. I'm just not sure which ones he's gonna pick, 'cause some of them are like,
Isn't that the
hotel
same guy
buildings,
that
like-
built the castle out in Dummerston?
I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah.
he owns a lot of stuff around here, and
Yeah.
he's got some great ideas, and
Oh,
he
that's
wants
exciting.
it to be part of the Whetstone, which is gonna now be the R&R Tavern, Rails and something
Right.
Tavern,
Oh,
and he was talking about even having dinners out on the bridge.
That'd be fun.
Like
So,
tables and
yeah.
stuff, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no,
Well, and we used to have that island thing, so it'd be cool if they did something like that.
yeah, that's kind of where his ideas are coming from. So I guess it's a good thing that someone's knocking on a door to not have that just turn into a place for
Right.
bad things to start coming into town, worse than they already are.
Cool. Anything else?
No.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Staff development.
We have a professional development master plan meeting on October 1st. It'll be our orientation meeting with staff members to begin to write our professional development master plan, which needs to go to the state, which is really helpful because it's also in the same year that the collective bargaining agreement is being renegotiated, because it's just really helpful that that's happening at the same time. And so we'll have information to support or to report that.
Okay, I was gonna say, do I have to be at
Yeah.
those meetings? I think- Just so I'm not skipping.
Right, no, these would be for our certified staff members to participate so that we can build our supervision evaluation program that the state mandates.
Perfect,
But I'll keep you informed.
sounds good.
Tuition exploratory.
We are kind of at a standstill right now, waiting.
So I'm assuming at our next meeting, we'll get the letter and approve to do that with Winchester. Give them that
So the
information.
letter asks if we're interested in just giving Winchester information
Mhm.
about the middle high school. There won't need to be board action on it.
Okay,
Yeah, we've already approved doing that.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to
So-
make sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I am a supporting role in Winchester. I'm not, I obviously
You're an interim over
have a
there, so.
vested
Mhm.
interest, obviously, so I just provide a supporting role. But Ms. Thompson is on the high school selection
Nice,
committee, so.
as a Winchester resident only.
Yeah,
Right.
Yes.
right?
Correct. So we'll have I'll
More
definitely have
coming.
more information. for you
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
next week as well. Things are gonna start happening next.
Cool.
Yeah, they're gonna have to if it needs to be.
March.
Figured out.
December, it'll need a board
Wow.
approval in December because it would have to go on the warrant in January.
Right.
Mhm.
One question I got is that we were saying 26, 27 would be the first year. Is that gonna be a phase-in situation where it's ninth and 10th and 11th and like over a 4-year term? Or are they just gonna pull their students out of Keene and drop them into the schools that they decide?
So some of that's still between the two attorneys and the two boards to sign the agreement.
Okay.
But the word publicly that I'm able to share is that if a student starts at Keene High School, right up until the 26-27 school year, they can finish at Keene High School if they so choose. If there's a flexibility otherwise that we're still negotiating. Possibility.
Great. Any other questions? The wellness committee.
I just got a bunch of meeting notifications, so I think October 9th was the first one I saw. So
Did you
we
guys
will-
have something happening in September? Did you already do that?
Oh,
The last
the
meeting that said there was
fair.
something was in
The
September.
wellness fair? That was, that was Mr., oh my goodness, I'm blanking his name. Yes, thank you. Mr. Fields was, I think. And that was like September 26th is popping in my head, but I don't know if that was it. So I guess we should probably check in with him.
I just know that he was part of that, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, he
He's
was,
part of our committee.
we had a subcommittee and they were doing their thing. So, and we haven't met since for them to report back to the committee as a whole, so. But they
Check
had-
in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Citizens comments. Nobody's in the
Oh, we
audience.
actually have some
Anybody online have anything? And remember just to state your name for the record.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how is everyone today?
Good.
Hey, so my question, so in light of the horrible, terrific event that we all know happened in Keene, at the beginning of the school year in reference to bullying, and that aspect. So my question comes along the lines of, mind you, that also comes in relevance for myself because I've had a child that is no longer attending the school district because she felt that she was bullied out of the school system. So it kind of touches close to home. So my question goes, have you guys, do you have any plan in place or do you have any discussions on reviewing or different ways of management for in the future for how we'd handle that so we don't have any kind of incidences that happen similar to Keene?
It was in Karen's report, so it's definitely a conversation being had.
So Alex, I can speak a little bit to, we're required to do training every year around that. This year, we're looking a little differently at how we're doing that and how we can implement it so that we're attending to the needs and the concerns of everyone, given the recent incident. Although we're in Hinsdale, we do have people that were directly feeling affected by it, reported by some of the principals have said that they've had some teachers reach out. So on our November 5th day, we will be doing some more intensive training around that with our teachers, both at building levels. So I've met with both social workers, Sarah Donahue and Tim Fleming, and they're putting together some training that will address, elementary school level and high school level. So teachers will have a 2-hour training on that and time for questions and debriefing after.
Okay. And the only thing I have for comment is listening, hearing about the budget. I look forward to seeing that. It sounds like it could be exciting to get our hands on this year and see some of that information. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Does Jamie have anything?
Say hi.
Just keeping an eye on you. All right, well, thank you for that. And that concludes what I have. Non-public, need to go into non-public.
Did we want to do the resolution?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Wait, but we had, yeah,
We can do the resolution, sorry, I forgot about that part.
well, but you wanted to let people go, right?
Yes, yeah, we can now,
If
yeah.
I could. if
And then
you
we'll
would
do the
like, we could
resolutions quick.
do
Oh, we can do the
non-public.
non-public, we can come back out and
And
do
that way everybody
resolutions.
can leave, then we can come back out.
Okay.
Perfect,
I'm not certain that they're interested in the resolutions. They're welcome to stay.
yeah, they can always look them up.
And then we do have a quick non-meeting.
Yes.
after as well.
All right, so we need Chris, Jane, and you, right? Everybody else can
And I'm
go?
gonna ask Molly to
And
stay
Molly.
as well for our EOP discussion.
Anna's like,
Oh, yeah. April, what was that house bill about the firearms stuff?
Firearms, it is HB 1336. You can if you'd like.
Yes,
Sure.
let's do your last meeting.
Thank you.
Bye, Mike.
It was great having you, Michael. Bye.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
All right, so then I need a motion to go in, non-public.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public.
Second.
I need roll call.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So we're in non-public. Yeah, and then David and Jane gotta come back in.
Yeah,
anyway.
right.